Hi guys, welcome to a new episode. We're going to be working on Unit 2, Lessons 3 and 4, same topic, reading and books. So get ready, get your books out and your pens out, and let's get started. The objectives of the day are we're going to read and understand an adventure story. We're going to practice expressing feelings. We will carry out an internet search about an author, and we're going to read and write a summary. Now let's read a story and guess what kind of story you might think it is. The trees are the first living things that Hassan has seen in 5 days. The wind is blowing and the leaves on the trees are trembling like him. He is tired and weak. A few hours before he arrived here, Hassan thought he was going to die. There was no food in the desert, and he knew that the little water he had would not last another day. Now he knows that he will find water, because if there are trees, there must be water somewhere. But still does not know where he is, how far it is to the nearest road, where he might find help. The sun is going down quickly, and he knows it will be cold for the next 8 hours. How can he stay warm for another night in the desert? Suddenly, he sees something. Someone is carrying a light towards him. He realizes that it is a man. Finally, help has arrived. He is safe. Oh my God. So now we're going to answer the questions that follow. If someone is trembling, if someone is scared or feeling weak and they tremble or they are trembling, does that mean that they are shaking very hard or standing quietly? It probably means that they are shaking very hard. Now let's move on to number 2. If a person feels weak, he is not strong or he is not excited. What do you think? Write your answers in your notebook. So, if a person feels weak, he or she is not strong. Let's move on to question 3. Why do you think that Hassan felt tired and weak? Why do you think he felt tired and weak? What was the problem he was facing? He had been in the desert for 5 days, 5 consecutive days. Let's move on to number 4. Why did Hassan think that he was going to die? Do you think maybe he was running out of something? He had no food and little water in the desert. Let's move on to number 5. How does he know that he will find water? Because there are trees there and they need water. And let's move on to the last question in section 2. How does he know that he is safe? He has seen someone who's carrying a light towards him, so he knows that help has arrived. It is his friend Ahmed. Now we're going to listen to Nadia and Salma's conversation and then get ready to answer questions.
Did you like the end of the story? I'm not sure I understand it. Who is the man with the light, and why does it say that the leaves are trembling? People usually tremble when they feel excited or frightened, not leaves. Hassan is trembling because he's tired and weak. He's been in the desert for 5 days. I don't think the writer is saying that the leaves feel frightened when the wind comes, but they are moving in the same way as Hassan because he is so tired. How did you feel when Hassan finally saw the trees? It made me feel excited. You know, that he will find some water because there are trees there and they need water. We know that he won't die.
Now I'd like you to work in pairs. You can find a partner at home or a sister or a brother to help you read in pairs. And all I need of you now is to read the end of the story again. Suddenly, he sees something. Someone is carrying a light towards him. He realizes that it is a man. Finally, help has arrived. He is safe. So once you're done with reading this part, I'd like you to Talk about how the story makes you feel, using the expressions from the function box. If you're not sure what to do, you can look at the right-hand side and read the speech bubbles. How do you feel when you read this story? I feel quite happy. So you can say, I feel frightened, or I felt quite happy. Did the story make you feel happy? You can say, yes, it made me feel happy. How did you feel when Hassan finally saw the trees? It made me feel excited. How do you feel about the story now? I don't feel sad. I feel good. Now, I want you guys to do an internet search, so make sure you get your phones out, or your laptops, or your tabs, and I want you to find out about your favorite Egyptian writer. So, who is your favorite Egyptian writer? Think about that person and then search the internet to find more information about him or her. Now we're going to move to lesson 4. We're going to ask and answer questions. What kind of novels do you like to read and why? Do you like adventure stories, detective stories, mysteries, historical stories, or something else? So, adventure stories include exciting details and a lot of suspense. Think about the Egyptian movies that you've watched or the novels that you have read. Detective stories include a little bit of mystery, a little bit of finding clues about things. Mysteries can be about anything. They can be about death, about people disappearing, or strange things that are happening in a certain place. Historical stories are about history or things that have happened in the past. If you like other kinds of novels, you can write them down. What do you think is important in a novel? For me, when I read a novel, it has to have details that impact or are related to my life. But what about you? What is important to you when you're reading a novel? Now, our project of the day. You're going to write a short summary of your favorite book, and you're going to use about 150 words. You're going to write down the important points in the story and a little about the characters. So you have to ask yourself who, what, and how questions. Remember that a summary is short, so do not include a lot of description. For example, we do not need to know that the most important character was tall unless it is important for the plot of the story. You might not need the names of all the characters. Do not copy sentences from the book. Use your own words. Don't give your opinion. So when you're writing a summary, you should not give your opinion. You should write only the important plot details. If you look at the right-hand side, you will see the summary of Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. Black Beauty is a story about a black horse in 19th century England. The horse tells the story of his life, which began at a farm. Black Beauty's mother teaches him to be a good horse. Farmer Gray is very kind and Black Beauty is happy. When Black Beauty is 4, Farmer Gray sells him to Squire Gordon. Black Beauty makes friends with other horses, and the squire looks after them well. Unfortunately, the squire moves abroad, and Black Beauty is sold to different people. Some people are very unkind. One of his homes is very bad. Black Beauty has many adventures before he finally finds a good home again. So this is a sample of a summary. You will create your own based on the points we have mentioned today. Remember, write the most important events in the story, write a little bit about the characters, answer questions who, when, where, how, and what happened. Do not mention your opinion and do not mention details. Thank you. Now that's a wrap. We have completed the following. We read and understood an adventure story. We practiced expressing feelings. We carried out an internet search about an author. We talked about novels. We read a summary. We wrote a summary. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. You did a great job today. This was Ms. Sara Bassioni. Goodbye.